Okay, call the meeting to order. The City of Grant's Lodgers Tax Board at 9:12 a.m. Roll call. We have Cade and Scott, and on phone is Aaron Dean. Absent is Tommy Simpson and John Rodriguez. Martinez, I mean. Sorry. And in front of you, I just need an approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Cade makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Aaron seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that will move down to discussion action item number 1, approval of minutes from the last meeting, November 2021.
I'll make the motion to approve the minute.
Cade makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Aaron seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
The other thing we have is an approval of an airport invoice for that's action item number 2, $679.57.
Make a motion to approve.
Aaron makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Cade seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. We'll move down to discussion action item number 3, which is approval of invoices for the Grand Cebolla County Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $8,538.95.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Cade makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Aaron seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will also carry. We'll move down to discussion action item number 4, which is approval of invoices for the New Mexico Mining Museum in the amount of $7,382.06.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Cade makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Aaron seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will also carry, and we'll move down to the comment section. And I'll let you get off the phone, Aaron, so if anything comes up, we'll see you next meeting on the 20th at 9 a.m. of January.
You got it.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Bye.
Bye. Okay, anybody have any comments? Deaf ears out there. We might have set a new record. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I talked to finance about that second chance that we were talking about last time. She said that we don't have a second chance. She said if we do have money left over from that fiscal year, that it rolls over because there might be a circumstance like COVID that we might have to pull out of that fund from the year before. So, if that makes any sense. So we did it.
Kind of does, but it doesn't, because
So
they
we-
can't use old money to pay new bills.
So we did. If we still have that money, she rolls it over, and she can roll it over for, I believe she said, one extra fiscal year. So it can only stay in there for 2 years.
But I still don't think it can be used to pay new bills with old money. So the reason why it came up in the fiscal year, because when we budgeted for this year, we didn't know kind of where we would be. And so what I tried to call and ask her, and I don't know if she hasn't got back with me because you guys were doing audits, is to look at this year, where we're at now versus where we were in years past. Like, we can't just say, oh, we're only going to have this much and this is what are we on track to do this year? Are we on track to be in the 400,000 range, or are we on track to be, because we can't be like we were last year. We have more people traveling than we had last year. So what year do we mimic, and what did we award this year? That's the reason why the second ask come up, because we awarded less. I mean, we kind of pinched pennies a little
Yeah,
bit.
I get it. So at the end of this fiscal year, she does a projection, and if she has any money left, we're supposed to publish it in the paper, in that we do have extra lodgers tax money, and that we do need, we're going to have some recipients that can put applications in.
But see,
So-
they can't do it at the end of the year for old money. We're done with the old money. That's the way I understand it. You know what I mean? When we hit the end of the fiscal year, we're rolling into new money now. We can't use old money to pay new bills. So the on track part is there was a question for the quad you needed a trailer, right? The quad needed a trailer, and the chamber has an event that you guys were going to ask for funding for, right? Kind of more funding. So maybe it's not even just maybe it's not for us, because it's too late for us to recommend anything. But if they find out they have more funding in the Lodgers Tax Fund, at least these organizations can approach City Council and say, hey, we're on track to do what we did, whatever, 2012 maybe, let's just say. We're on track to bring that in lodger's tax. We only gave out this much, but in this fiscal year, Terry, you guys need a trailer like now, right? They need a trailer before the quad happens, and that's the funding that we're talking about, not necessarily we're going to, these guys, I mean, even though it'd be available for everybody, the city council can decide, hey, we're going to use that money out of lodger's tax because we project that we're going to bring more in. When you get to the end of the year, if you have old money, like I said, you can't just roll it over and start paying bills with it. That you can't do that. So that's why I was trying to find out now what we're on track to do, so these guys can approach city council and say, you know what, our event may or may not happen with or without this trailer. Or Brenda, in your case, our event may or may not happen to the extent that you want it to happen without this funding. That's why I brought it up, and like I said, I've tried to maybe get Gloria to come in and say, like, what year are we on track to do the numbers of, and what did we award this year? So if there is a little window of funds to the amount, especially what the quad needs for their trailer repair or their replacement, we kind of want that event to happen, so we need to.
She gave me the impression that we would have to let everyone know we have funding.
Well, you can, but then,
Yeah.
like I said, how many months are you out? Terry, how many months are you out? Yeah, I mean, so even if I know that they have to advertise it, but if they approach city council, now that's a different thing. You see what I'm saying? They could come and say, you know, we really need this.
Yeah.
Whether city council funds them out of the general fund and then replaces it with lodger's tax funds, not that that's, you know, but it would be not budgeted, but figured out, basically.
And I believe Gloria is on her way. But she is coming down over here to talk to you about that. She knows the specifics
Okay.
of those rules. I talked to her a little bit, but
Because I'm pretty sure, though, if we earn it in let's call it 2020, 2021, if we earn it in this year, we can't just use it in the next year. It's a rough way that they have to budget for it. But at least you'll know if we're going to be over budget, what year are we looking like we were in the past? How much over budget would we be? Are you listening at all? So the question, I don't know, the question they had about that second ask, and it's not so much I understand that everybody has to ask for it, but what if they approach city council and ask for it?
Yeah, we can, what I need to do, what I would need to do is contact DFA.
Okay,
Because we have 2 years to spend the money. Okay, that's a rule for lodgers. We
but
have
under
2 years.
different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I'm talking about full fund balance. So,
So you can use old money to pay new bills?
Yes.
Okay, which was we were told before you could not.
no, we have 2 years to spend whatever came in last year. And so it's a constant rollover.
So not that you guys could bug city council to put it on their agenda, but if it's something that can be paid under lodger's tax, and I don't know if they want a whole bunch of people in here having an ask at a city council meeting, but our quad needs a trailer like now, and the event's in 2 months. And that's why they were wondering, is there more funding, or were we going to have a second ask in November? And when I had called and left you a message, all I was saying is if you could match what our numbers are now versus what they were years ago, and kind of find out what year we're on track to do, because this year it's nothing compared to last year. I mean, it's not even
Right, because at
comparable.
At the end of the year last year, there was 154 left. And that you can, spend this year and next year.
Well,
So it constantly
so we're not,
goes over.
we're just recommendations. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know if they want everybody in here at a city council meeting asking.
Right. No,
And I don't
think-
know if they can pay for something out of the general fund and then use lodger's tax funds to replace the general fund because it can be paid under lodger's tax fund.
Right.
You
So
see what I
it's-
mean?
Yes, I do see what you're saying, but in order for me to do that, because you're talking about 2 different funds, I'd have to get approval from.
And
To
you would
do
have
it.
to advertise and have an ask at a city council meeting, right?
Yes.
That's I mean, like I said, we would recommend, and then we'd have to turn around and get on the agenda to be the city council meeting, and these guys' events happens in 2 months.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's where they're asking. I go get a loan, Terry. We'll figure out how to pay it next year. I don't know, but
So, I mean, it's definitely worth looking into because we have the funds that were left over from last year. The only thing is you have to remember that the revenue that's coming in this year, it supports next year. So last year came in and it didn't for the year before, and then last year it didn't get spent. So that's kind of what we're rolling on now. But if our revenues are not good in lodgers tax this year, then we're going to end up short.
well, that's
And
why
then
I
the
said try to
following
figure
year,
out
you're gonna
what
be
year.
less than 250.
If there's a way you could do it by just pulling up old reports like at this time of year, 5-6 years ago, and try to figure out what
Definitely.
year we're on track with, because we kind of just don't. We kind of just guessed this year. I mean, we didn't go, okay, now we're over a half a year in. So where are we at based on years past? Are we at
We can look
400
at-
something a year, or are we at 300 something? You know what I mean?
Right. The only thing with doing something like that is we don't know how many lodgers tax payments we were getting, how many lodgers there were.
But
you
we
know what
kind
I
of
mean?
just, I mean, like when we do this budget, we're kind of not know either. You know what I mean? We're just making a guess.
Yeah, how many hotels close
And Kate,
go
isn't it-
away.
Well, you would. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
like
I
we
can
have
go
1,000 hotels in town, so
Exactly.
it's pretty. I mean, we got about 10.
That's true.
So I
That's
mean,
true. Yeah.
one could pretty much. I think
Go
get
back about 5
pretty
years?
Hey,
good
good to
guess.
know we get to see the old money.
You
Used
guys
to just
do-
vanish.
Right.
Do you guys think about go back about 5 years and then go forward?
Well,
'Cause
I mean,
can definitely get those reports.
Yeah,
And
look
that's
at-
not a problem.
I
That's
think what
easy
he's
for
saying
you.
Is just to look back in your records and find a year where at the end of November we had the same amount of money
More
as
or
what
less.
we brought in this year at this point in the year.
Okay.
And then we can say, okay, just based on history, or maybe a couple of years, and
Right.
say, more than likely,
This is what
year
we'll
will
average.
be the same as those 2 years because it was the same. We're at the same spot.
Right.
Then you would know, is there, or you're going to make an educated guess, is there this much money that we should be able to do a second half for? This saving the quad's life by giving them a trade.
Right. Gotcha.
I mean, and I don't know if they can put it on the agenda, but like you said, you could say, okay, we have an ask and they have a dire need, and I don't know how, because if something comes up right now and somebody approached our city council and it was something they thought was going to be a great event,
Yeah.
somehow they would find a way to
Right.
make
but
it
that
happen.
doesn't mean that we can do it through lodgers.
I
You know what I
understand.
mean?
Well, or
Because
can
like
lodgers
they did
tax,
the whole thing at the beginning of the year.
or
and
can
then
lodgers tax
have to
pay
think
for
about
that
it.
at the end of the year, or pay for that? You see what I mean?
We
But
have to make sure it's within the rules of lodgers. That's my
okay,
So, and to make sure I know what amount we can spend, and if we can do this second half as a special ask or something.
and
whatever it is.
and for us, I'm like I said, the timeline is
No.
for them to come say yeah now, and we go okay, we recommend we do that. Well, now then we're gonna have to wait another month or whatever to be on the agenda for the city council meeting.
Yeah.
So
Well, the quickest we could get it on is for the January. When is this planning to be? I mean, when do they need the trailer? The quad?
yesterday,
February? Yeah, so.
Well,
that was
they can,
yesterday.
if it's that dire, and if, you talk to the city manager about it, it can be a special meeting.
I have an
Yes.
idea that I'll
Yeah.
share with
Okay.
you.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
we can always request a special meeting. And I
Yes.
think they would deem that necessary special meeting
Yeah.
to promote
Especially
know,
how big the
for
quad
the
is.
Okay.
city.
Yeah.
Well, that
And
was
the
just
quad
our
is huge.
find out for that event, because that event's going to happen in a couple of months. So
Sure.
anybody else have any other comments? Okay. Our next meeting will be January 20th at 9 a.m. And I just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Cade makes a motion to adjourn. Aaron seconds via phone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, he was.
Oh,
Yeah, he was on the phone earlier. But.
so I don't know if have you guys been looking at